Well, for more on this story, we're joined now by the London-based Palestinian journalist Sharif. Thanks so much for coming into the studio. I was wondering, first of all, what you thought of the Israeli reaction today, the Israeli government reaction, I should say, because it's very rare to hear an Israeli attack on a Palestinian described as a terror attack.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think they had to react because a toddler was killed. So this was, I think, more for PR to say that they genuinely did abhor the attack. But you know, the actions on the ground belie that. Israel encourages the population of settlers to increase in the West Bank. It gives them a sense of impunity. In every facet of life in the West Bank, settlers are treated preferentially to Palestinians. And this sense of impunity makes these kind of attacks inevitable. The Israeli human rights group, B'Tselem, specifically said that today, that such an attack as happened now was just a matter of time, given the sense of impunity. So Israel encourages this kind of behaviour, and its army acts little better.
Critics have in the past accused the Israeli authorities of not taking or not investigating attacks on Palestinians seriously enough. Do you think that the outrage that's been shown by the wider Israeli community over this particular attack, do you think that is likely to change anything?
I don't think so. I mean, this is certainly not the first heinous attack against Palestinian civilians that have resulted in deaths.
No, but the response from the Israeli public in general seems to have been outrage and shock, which you don't necessarily normally see with an attack on a Palestinian.
Well, if you bear in mind that the current Israeli government, which is recently elected, is probably the most extremist in Israel's history. It comprises settlers in government. It is staunchly pro-settlement. So it is highly unlikely, given the support base that the government has among settlers, that it is going to act in anything other than a symbolic way towards this issue. Most
of the pressure that is applied on Israel about the settlement expansion programme is applied internationally. Do you think the more pressure is going to be applied now, and is Israel likely to take any notice? Because it hasn't in the past. I mean, when the US has come out and basically point blank said, you've got to stop doing this, and Israel doesn't, do you think this is likely to change anything?
Well, there's two problems here. There's not enough pressure, but there's also certainly not enough pressure from certain quarters. Israel's allies do not apply anywhere near as much pressure as they should. I meone, just telling Israel to stop isn't a strategy in itself. And there has to be punitive measures. If Israel doesn't stop this, what should happen? I mean, there should be some kind of sanctions regime, some punitive measures to make it stop. Words are not enough. And I think this is why you're seeing the rise of the boycott, divestment and sanctions movement and other grassroots initiatives, because people realise that governments, certainly the governments that can influence Israel, are not using that influence.
Good to get your views. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you.
Thank you.